back to another episode of the Hooligans Pitch. It is your boys Michael and Chad here. And Chad, I get to say Liverpool has won the Carabao Cup. Made my weekend pretty happy because I got to see 2 victories in a matter of 4 days. Screw you, English Federation, for putting us in all these games. That's my rant to get us started. How you doing, Chad?
All right. Wow, coming in hot.
Yeah, it's been a spicy weekend.
No, yeah. I mean, chilling here. Things are still cruising, still scoring goals. So
yeah, it needs to stop. Slow down a little bit, please. Please.
No, we're gonna keep rolling. I like this momentum right now.
It's pretty incredible what we're seeing with the top 3 right now. But before we dive in, I'm so thirsty. This thing has been releasing condensation, and it's hot here now, Chad. We've hit the humid season in late February. It's not good. I'm not ready for it. So I'm drinking all day because I need to hydrate at the same time.
It's fair. I'm actually throwing you for a little bit of a loop. It's just a Dr. Pepper in a cup.
But I love me a Hydro Flask cup.
Yeah, keeps it nice and cool. All 23 flavors, you know.
Didn't forget one. Well, if you don't mind, we can just rattle off the 2 Liverpool games back to back here.
Yeah.
Let's start with our game that we had on Thursday against Luton. Total trap game. This was the game where it felt like if we lost it, it would be under maybe draw, but lost too. Like I would kind of understand it just because of how our injuries have been going, and it's just one of those games against Luton where last time they came out and they were a really tough matchup for us, but Luton went up 1, and I said, yep, it's going to happen, because it happened within 12 minutes, and that's kind of been our doom this season of just letting those early goals go in, but, we never give up. We always let the early ones go just so we can make an incredible comeback, and I'm probably just stacking on this record right now of most points after being
probably
down.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, we got to be in the high 20s now in points, because I remember a couple weeks ago they said it was like 22 points or something. So, and I feel like the last 2 victories now we've come back, so that puts us in the high 20s. Great effort by everyone in the second half of that game. We did the thing where we turn it on for 10, 12 minutes, kind of like how City does, and just we put them away. And to do that without some of our big names in there, it felt good. Felt really good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it definitely could have. It could have went either way. This was, I don't think, ever going to be a draw. It was either like Liverpool command this or Luton get the smash and grab sort of deal. And I didn't get to watch it live, so I was just checking updates throughout the game and saw Luton 1 up, and I was like, uh-oh, this could be detrimental to the title race, right? It is 1 win, but it's so tight up there that I think everyone's kind of in this must-win territory right now.
I mean, we would have dropped a third if we lost this game.
Exactly. So, it's that easy to get knocked down. But then, going back and watching the highlights, Luton's goal, I think, is a little bit lucky. That deflection off of Kelleher is, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But, Liverpool still had to come back. And, yeah, it's like you said, they got 2 goals in 2 minutes and then, added a third maybe 10 minutes later. So
it was very patient. It was a patient game.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had to sit back and just wait for something to come. But Endo was tremendous. It is incredible how awesome he has been when he's been in these games, and to think he's 31 years old and in dominating some of the other midfielders that we'll get to shortly. It's a blessing to have him on the pitch, and the fact that he's staying healthy and we're able to kind of just keep rotating pieces around him and we're making things work. Man, he's going to be crucial to the end. If he goes down, I mean, it's another one, right? Another one down, next man up type situation. But he's the one that I would, be the most worried for, just because when we didn't have him while he was at the Asian Cup, that's when our back line wasn't greatly organized. I mean, he's so scrappy. He'll fight for anything. He doesn't care about scoring. He doesn't care about assisting. He wants to get in and get dirty. And I think he frustrates other teams a lot by doing that. So good to see the 4-1 victory here. Another Harvey goal. He's our mini Shaqiri.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Yeah, he has that knack to just kind of pop up right in the perfect position and more often than not, the goals he scores are like pretty nice too. So
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, with that said, let's jump to the Carabao Cup.
mm-hmm.
This was a day. This was an event for me because I couldn't watch all of it because I should have known. I should have known this game was going to go into extra. I planned it to end right when I had to leave because I went to donate blood on Sunday, and we left right at the 95th minute or so. I had BBC Radio 5 on in the car. I was doing everything I could to be right there with them. And then I had to answer this questionnaire thing while I was in the lobby, and I had Kristen with the stream on my phone, and it was at a church, and it was one of those sketchy websites where you go and find streams, and then the stream went out, and I said, don't click on anything because bad things can happen, and she didn't know what that meant, and then I showed her afterwards. I was like, this is what happens, and she was like, oh, thank God I didn't do that. But anyway, I was sitting in the chair, saw him go up 1-0. I didn't get to see the goal, but I actually pushed out a pint of blood in 4 minutes, which they said is incredible. They said I was halfway done with 2 minutes in, and I said, really? I didn't believe them. They're like, oh, yeah, you look like your blood's flowing. I was like, you bet it is.
Oh, my God.
So that was pretty incredible. When she did burst it, like I still got my little, you can probably see my little line of where it was. When she put the needle in my arm, graphic information kind of exploded when she went in. That's when I was like, oh, man, like,
you're ready.
I'm pumped. So just listening to the radio and even just watching updates on my phone, I still got pretty hyped. But so great we won that game. The thing with Chelsea is a $1 billion squad on the pitch. Kind of, sort of. I kind of looked up who was on the pitch versus Liverpool. Chelsea had 472 million on the pitch, and Liverpool had 323 million on the pitch to start the game. But it's not about where you start; it's where you finish. And we had 4 or 5 teenagers on the pitch, probably making, sub 6 figures probably right now, easy. Yeah. And they kept Liverpool in this game. Chelsea looked really good near the end. I think Gallagher wants to take back that one-on-one moment and do that over and over and over again. But when I watched that game, it seemed like Chelsea let those guys get comfortable. So I went back when I got home. I watched it. I watched the entirety that I missed, and they never like forced them to do anything stressful, and I think that made them comfortable.
Oh yeah. They got to kind of ease into it, right? Like, if you're the opponent, you should, target the new kid. It's not only just, their senior debut, but like it's in a cup final, so like nerves are already going to be higher. It would make sense to like really go at them, whether that's a hard challenge or just like really defending really close and keeping the pressure on them. I don't know, it was so weird to see the end of regular time. Like you said, Chelsea had the momentum there and was really pushing. I was nervous, and at that point it's the kids are coming on, right? Like it's could easily have swung into Chelsea's balance, and they should have probably continued with that. And I don't know, like I know Pochettino came out and said, oh, they just got tired, and it's like, I don't know that's a
weak excuse. That's
right?
A weak excuse.
Like, Liverpool just played on Thursday, and I think Chelsea before was at the weekend, so they had like a whole week of rest compared to Liverpool. So like, if you want to talk tiredness, Liverpool probably was just as tired, if not more, and they're missing, a whole starting 11.
And they took out our rising top midfielder 30 minutes in on a crunching ankle tackle, which I can't believe no card was shown for. That Caicedo tackle, the commentator was saying, well, it was accidental. I was like, every tackle is accidental. Like, no guy's going into an ankle on purpose. Very rarely someone's going into that on purpose. So I didn't understand why a card didn't come out there. It's like, if you could do that and not get a card, like, what now where's the limit? Where are we going with this now? So that was kind of disturbing.
Like, not to like jump to other games, but there was like 2 other instances of that same sort of tackle this weekend. One being Harry Maguire on who was it, Lukic or something, for Fulham, and then Billy Gilmore did the same tackle against someone.
Who's it on
Someone
Everton?
on Everton, yeah. And Billy Gilmore got the red for it. So
Yeah.
they were all very similar, very much that like ankle, top of the foot kind of step. As maybe not like an egregious red like you could possibly see. I think it's reckless enough, right? Where okay, it maybe won't be a big injury causing challenge, but you went in very recklessly and like very well could injure the other player in this. So I think reds are fair for all of those. I don't know why it's like wavering now. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. It doesn't, and it took me a couple watches to kind of fully see it. At first, I was like, "Wow, easy red," and then the second time, I was like, "Well, like their feet kind of got tangled," but at the same time, like Caicedo could have just not done that. He decided to go in there kind of recklessly, and Gravenbach had the ball fine. He was dribbling with it okay, and he came in, I don't know, just too fast, too reckless, and caused him to get out of the game. Like that's what's crazy is you injured someone so bad with this reckless tackle. He's out of the game now, and you're no punishment. You're good.
You're good.
Keep going.
Yeah. So I don't know if it, I mean, just to have the other examples in the weekend, I don't know if it's like the refs decided that this kind of play is, unless very clearly, with malice behind it, it's fine. It's just a football challenge sort of deal. But
yeah,
I think you see with Gravenberch is like it can cause them to have to leave the game, and for some of these to not even get any punishment is just ridiculous.
Well, from that moment on, we brought in Joe Gomez, and we moved Bradley to right wing, which is just incredible that we can just be like, yep, you're going to play that position now. We're going to totally shift over and replan what we originally wanted to do. And, I mean, we kind of just neutralized that game. The Virgil goal, the one that was disallowed, it was just like another moment of, I understand why it was called back. I do.
Yeah.
Frustrated, of course, because it's like I'm sure that happens so much on non goals, but like teams still hold possession off of that, so it still has some effect to it, and we never really see that called. Endo knew what he was doing. I wish he was onside because it would have worked perfectly. He stopped Caldwell from running, and Caldwell gave up on that play so easy. That was incredible. That's why I was like, I wish Endo was just a half step onside, just to show like Chelsea defenders just didn't even care to go through someone to get the ball. He hugged him, and that was it. Yeah,
and I mean you see that all the time. Like Arsenal players do it, but they, jump back onside last second, which
right.
I get is the part that I guess makes it fair, but it feels wrong to like have this be called when you see it so much just not get called, whether they're onside or not, or if it doesn't end up as a goal, does that even get called? Probably not. But
no, I don't think it gets called at all. So anyway, Virgil got it done later in the game. Top notch celebration. It was a good day. Overall, good day. I was happy we got it. It wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if we didn't. But the fact that we did, and just kind of add that extra like try us again, because now we got an FA Cup in 3 days to prepare for, which is just crazy too. Yeah, we could do a quadruple this year, and that's pretty wild to think.
Yeah, it's I'm okay with Chelsea losing and they're like $1.2 billion spent, still having nothing to show. Like it's just, I get they don't have all those players out there at any one time, but I think you still just didn't spend that money wisely at all.
When Mudryk came on the pitch, I was nervous for about 10 seconds. I was like, man, this guy might run all over us. And then he didn't. Yeah. And I was like,
you would think.
Yeah, right? Against all these young guys, you just run over him. Yeah. Shocking. He played so poorly in that extra time.
Yeah. I feel like he's maybe one of those kind of like confidence players. The only issue being that when he was getting starts, he still wasn't really performing, and now he's kind of in the sub role, so he comes in and still doesn't really perform, and so I think he just can't really get it going, which might be what's holding him back, or he came from the Ukrainian league or the Russian league or something, which is just a completely different level of play compared to Premier League. So you can light it up there and raise your price tag and get these big clubs after you like you did, but it doesn't necessarily mean that will translate over to the big boy leagues.
No, it has not. Not one bit for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw 43 shots in that game too. So
yeah, that was kind of crazy.
We're kind of firing away. Yeah. So that was a fun stat. I just I wanted some goals earlier, but I'll take a 118th minute game winner from our captain.
Well, look, if we know anything about Liverpool and Chelsea games, more often than not, it's a draw. So this one just couldn't. So.
and I think now we're at 280 minutes without Chelsea scoring a goal in the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, that's a big yikes.
What, the past 6 they've lost? I think it was. I don't know. I didn't write it down.
I think it's 6. Yeah, which is a pretty incredible stat.
Yeah, but it's just Chelsea these days. So.
Well, that's my Liverpool happy weekend, and I mean we don't need to talk too much about Chelsea, but they should have won that game. I think that's my overall feeling for it.
I mean, it feels like the club is just in such disarray where you have all these young guys that are clearly a little bit maybe like mentally fragile at this point. Like their careers have maybe not taken off as they would have expected making the move to Chelsea. And then I think same for Pochettino. He's like, came in and sees that Chelsea's spending money so he can kind of craft this team and build, and like that's still not really clicking or working out. So I think it's just a whole club issue of not the right mentality and not really the right players or tactics or whatever, and it just you're seeing the results of that.
When the fan told Enzo he was unlucky, I saw some comments online saying, "Oh, that fan is like a piece of work for saying that to a player who just worked his butt off." But you could tell Enzo was so struck by that.
Yeah,
and like those words were like they hit him hard, and so I don't know. I feel a little bad for him, but at the same time, he did win a World Cup final and played much better in that than he did in this game. So,
yeah, I mean, the fans are saying things all game.
Yeah, that too.
So like I get like maybe end of normal time you thought, all right, like we're gonna keep running through this team and we'll get the goal and win, and it doesn't work out. So okay, yeah, you feel disappointed how the result went, but I does the fan need to say it? Maybe not, but like that's just footy, baby. Throw the banter out there and
he got him.
See what happens. Yeah,
it's stuck. It's stuck good. He should have just not reacted. He should have just kept walking. Yeah. And it wouldn't meant anything.
That's all he had to do.
Or smiled, or been like, "Dude, I'm rich. Yeah. Like, look at you."
Yeah,
like right?
Like
not the like I'm gonna come at you, but I'm not going to. So stupid. So good.
Oh,
all right, I'm good with my talk. Where you want to head next? You want to head to Arsenal?
Yeah, let's just bust out Arsenal. Start the show on a high,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it also got Liverpool connections in here with Karius making his Premier League re-debut,
which wasn't the worst.
No,
the scoreline doesn't help, but it wasn't the worst.
No. I think certainly the first 2 goals were of no fault to him. Third and fourth, maybe
could have done better.
But I don't know if you heard during the game, but like the commentators were just really shitting on him, and like really had this like ass backwards view of his time at Liverpool, his time in the Premier League. I think mostly shaped by the Champions League final, where he was more than likely concussed.
Were you watching this on Peacock?
Yeah.
Interesting, because when I was listening to it, it sounded pretty friendly, but I can't say I'm listening to commentary like it depended on the game. I don't know if I was listening to it that closely. I think I was multi-boxing. Oh no, this was the afternoon game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I might have been talking to Kristen too while watching the game, so I wasn't
yeah.
100% paying attention.
I mean, a lot of it was like kind of the like compliment sandwich sort of style of like, yeah, he's back, he's looking, fit, but like when he was Liverpool, he was always very shaky, yada yada yada. And I was
Which
like, I don't remember him being that
wasn't
bad.
shaky. Shaky's
So
yeah.
yeah, so I went and just like looked at his stats with Liverpool in 2017-18.
Oh, deep dive.
Yeah, so I mean, I just did Premier League games, so he started 19 games. Granted, some of this will include, a good Liverpool defense to help him, but he got 10 clean sheets. He had 30 saves with a save percentage of 73.3% and only allowed 14 goals. So, like,
So what are they talking about?
yeah, like I don't really feel like the need to stick up for the guy, but at the same time, like, I didn't remember him being bad at any moment. Like, if you want to highlight the Champions League final, okay, but like, he was more than likely concussed through all of that. So that's just a different beast. You can't really judge him on that.
And it's Real Madrid, like same in the final.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's shame on them for not doing the research you just did in all a minute.
I mean, yeah, you just search his name and go to that year, and it's all there. So, but I don't know. Maybe that was a little bit of just trying to play up the dramatics on the day of. It's not Pope and it's not Dubravka now. It's third choice keeper, right? But like I said earlier, first 2 goals clearly not his fault.
Great save on the Botman goal.
Yeah. Gabriel's header, like strong header, but like Karius is there. He's got that saved, and then unfortunately it just gets kind of bobbled around, and
they should have all gotten out of the way, and he probably would have got it.
Yeah.
They kind of screwed themselves over there by everyone trying to rush it. But yeah, that header was strong, and that was a great save. But the Havertz goal, the Havertz run, the Martinelli big touch and crossing that in, that was impressive. I couldn't believe he got to that ball in time to save it.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was really close. But I think it's like Newcastle defense was just so... I don't know. Like, no one followed Kai in there. They just kind of let him run. And then you see like Trippier notice at the last second that like, oh, he's just wide open center of the box and like tries to run over, but it's too late at that point. Great for Arsenal, but like Newcastle was just, they couldn't do anything for like the first 30 minutes. I'd say they were stuck in their half, and I guess credit to Arsenal's press for really being that suffocating press that Arteta wants, and it basically looked like it threw Newcastle off their entire game.
I was surprised Dan Burns wasn't in this game. I kind of understand why they did it, but then looking back, I was like, he has height, maybe not the pace, but it's not like he's going to be. That's not his game, is to keep up with the fast wingers. He plays around his own style. I mean, he's 6'6". He's a huge guy, and as soon as he gets into the game, what does he do? Makes a goal line clearance. Makes it a great assist. It's like, okay. So I don't know. I don't understand what Newcastle's philosophy was with that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking they were just trying to match speed with Saka. With I think Livramento was on that side. But I think Dan Burn, just his size, and like he's not slow by any means either. I think is enough to kind of be able to put Saka off a little bit, and I think he just has more experience than Livramento. So. Probably would have been the smarter move, I think, but or at least an earlier sub for that, because you go down 2 pretty early on, and even though I think Arsenal could have had more goals in that first half, it looked like that it was Arsenal control the whole time. Newcastle never really got too much going in there, so I was kind of surprised to not see a bigger change at halftime of personnel from Newcastle, but. Yeah, it's a great game, fun to watch.
What's that now? I think we were right. You guys got 6, and then 5, and then 4. So now you're due for 3 next, and then hopefully we can get to the 2 and 1 shortly after. 3-0 against Sheffield. I think that's doable.
Yeah, it sounds okay. I'd be okay with that. 2 against Brentford, and then 1 against Chelsea. We're getting a little too low because City comes right after that.
It does. Oh no.
So maybe we like save a goal or two from Sheffield and move it down towards like the City game. And
yeah.
Well,
your scoring has been pretty nice. Your goal differential now is your top now, right?
They're on 30 plus 39. Liverpool at plus 38. City plus 33.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think some of this was fortunate to hit teams at a time where they were in just terrible form, like West Ham. But that helps the goal differential. And as of right now, if there was going to be a season that came down to it, it looks like it could be this one.
That'll just be so wild if that's what we're gonna 3 teams at the top and that's what we're gonna come down to. Come on.
Yeah. Saka's goal though. I need that guy to cut inside, and here he does it, and he actually gets a shot off. And again, I think it was a little bit bad defending because cruises through people, but
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he made through all those bodies.
Yeah, I think Newcastle their defense was just off their game, really. But yeah, good to watch. I think having Jorginho in there, Jorginho or Thomas Partey, I think are almost the key to kind of unlocking this team to be what they can be. Because they just provide so many of those like line breaking passes, and they'll take like the risky pass, but like it'll actually come off, and just allow that like creativity to start from deeper. So then like Odegaard can stay up higher, and I mean just like those long balls into like Martinelli, they catch teams off guard, even though that's his game, is to get onto that ball and run past you. And so many teams just like can't handle that, or don't have enough follow up to then protect the middle. So yeah, I like seeing him in there. Just need Thomas Partey to like come back, be healthy, and see if he can step in there, because Jorginho I don't think is really cut out for the full 90 at this point. I would have liked to see him get subbed off with the other guys at like the 64th minute, whatever it was, because I think then maybe could have preserved the clean sheet. But if it had to be a guy, Arsenal Academy product Joe Willock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's fair. Partey's coming back, it says beginning of March. So that'll be a pretty big addition. That's, I think in March we're going to see a lot of players coming back. So yeah, I'm excited to see all these, returners. Mbumo, Salah, Nunez. I mean, the list is big right now. Yeah. I feel like this has been a season where we're just seeing a lot of big names go down, and we don't want that for at least the top half when there is a season to be won.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only going to get tighter and just stay. That top 3 is just going to be everyone's, like I said, in must-win territory already. Like, you screw up once, and then you're like banking on the other teams messing up, and that's just never a good position.
Would you rather be like, what position do you want to be in right now? Are you happy with being in third today?
I think third's okay today. Like,
I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, I think as much as they all feel pressure, I think Liverpool probably feels the most, just since they're currently number 1 and have the lead.
Yeah.
But again, like I would still say like City and Arsenal wouldn't necessarily feel like that much less pressure. Like, they know if they slip up, it's potentially over for the title chance, right? So I don't know. I think third's cool right now. Only because maybe in their head it's like third is a little bit removed from the top 2 pressure, but I mean, on points, you're still right there. So you're still in that pressure cooker that is top 3 this season.
Yeah, I like the third position honestly because yes, if you mess up, you might be screwed, but at the same time, not a lot of teams are looking down at you, right? Everyone's kind of looking up, and City's the last team to drop points. Liverpool, with all their injuries and everything, there's a lot of pressure on them to keep winning. And thank goodness for Chelsea getting that draw a couple weeks ago, because that was a beautiful thing for us to even just have that point. Just that point ahead is enough right now. But I do think City is going to feel some pressure too. If one more team can take any type of point off of them, it'll change a lot of things, because that gives Arsenal an opportunity to jump them. And only scoring 1 against Bournemouth this weekend was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I think they're certainly not on their A game at the moment. I would say, like, from front to back, it feels a little maybe not like disjointed, but just not that like lethal City, we're gonna go on a 20-game winning streak to take the title from you.
They can do that, right? They can do that with this team. But yes, I agree with you. They don't look as terrifying, right? It's not a Holland goal scoring machine where it's like every time he touches the ball, like he's gonna like bounce off of you and just keep sprinting towards goal. Their goal this weekend was a rebound. And okay, like I get it that a goal is a goal, but at the same time, I saw a lot of other build-up plays this weekend scoring nice goals against much better teams than Bournemouth. So,
and even then, it looked like Bournemouth was starting to put a lot of pressure on the City defense throughout the game. So, okay, yeah, your defense held on and kept the clean sheet in the win, but you're not really controlling the game, I think, as much as City used to. Whereas, City used to just pass teams to death, and they would just not get a chance on the ball. But this season, I think you're seeing a lot more that they kind of either purposefully or other teams are just getting wise to it and losing that control. And then, I think Holland is maybe in a little bit of a poor form dip right now, like compared to his standards.
He peaked.
He has 3 goals since the start of the year, and that's over 6 matches or something like that. So he's certainly not lighting it up like we know he can. And I think he's just missing a lot of the chances that normally he would be making.
He's trying to do too much.
I think that might be it. Like, I think he wants to be that goal machine and is maybe now overthinking it a little bit, and not just kind of letting the goals come to him like last season. Kevin De Bruyne just feeds him a ball and it's placed perfectly, just hit it in. And this season he didn't have De Bruyne the whole time, but I think still he's maybe trying to take on too much. Maybe because De Bruyne was out, he was like, I gotta be the one to do it, and now just I don't know, he's burnt out a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be too acrobatic, too flashy, instead of like just slotting the balls in. I mean, you saw that one, I think it was in Champions League, where he tried to, it should have been a nice header, and he like decided to jump 5 feet up in the air and try to scissor kick it. It's like, that was unnecessary. Like, really unnecessary. Yeah. Yet you still went for it. So, I don't know. That's kind of... City is going to be there. We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the year, I think, that pressure is on them more than ever, just because there's 2 teams now right next to them. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there's less pressure on Liverpool and Arsenal, just because this is, the headlines are all about City.
A little bit, like,
it's all about City.
Yeah. I think City probably still holds probably the majority of the pressure because, I mean, they've been the team and, just won the treble and all this. And, Arsenal, I think, probably loses some of the pressure because, they led for so much of last season and then it didn't work out. So people are just kind of almost already writing them off as like it'll happen again, and maybe it will. I don't know. And then I think Liverpool's like almost maybe not like flown under the radar, but like running a little like incognito right now of like they're like under this umbrella of like Klopp's leaving at the end of the season, and like everyone's kind of forgetting about their actual play.
Don't forget we're really good. Don't forget about that.
Like even we're bringing on the kids now and we're still winning, you know, like so I don't know. It would be interesting to hear, you know, players from each club if how the pressure feels this season. I don't know. Well, I'm excited to see how it ends. You know, ideally with City in third, but you know, we'll see.
Interesting stat for you, but take out our Arsenal loss in February. We haven't scored less than 3 goals since December 26th in an EPL game.
Dang.
So despite
you guys are cooking too.
So despite not having like, you know, our big names at forwards, we're still finding ways to get goals. It's been, you know, an assortment of them from Nunez and Jota and Gakpo. And I mean, if you look at the top 5 of our goal scorers this year, it's pretty incredible how many assists and goals we all have contributed to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, good on them. Good on Diaz too. The dude is taking, I think, too many dribbles right now. I think we need to pass a little bit more. Yeah. But he's shooting a lot. He had like 10 shots in that game on Sunday. So I like the confidence in him, and his dad is going to all the games too, which is cool to see. So I'm sure that's an extra little boost. But anyway, I'm backtracking back to Liverpool just because I have to. All right, next game on the list, Chad, because we're just going in the spicy order. Man U and Fulham.
Look, if it takes Man U losing this game for them to get a win next weekend against City, everything will be right in the world.
We just need to make Bruno really mad, so he takes it out on City, because he was pretty mad this game.
This could have been it, you know. He was pretty upset at the end. You know, game was already over, but he was upset with the ref for some reason, and I mean, Man U just did not look good at all.
They looked so bad. They got so lucky on the Maguire rebound, which was borderline offside. And if we go back and look at that again, I wanted them to look at Scott McTominay more, because when Bruno shot it, he was in front of the keeper and he looked kind of offside to me. And vision impairment, you know, if you're in the way of him and you're offside, that gets called. And I don't know why that wasn't talked about. We should probably look at it again. I might go look at it right after this just to double check. But it didn't matter because Fulham, they pulled it out anyway. 2 great goals in this game, by the way, from Calvin Bassey and Iwobi. The Iwobi finish fooled me, Chad. I'm not even kidding. I laid back and I was like, Kristen was like, no, they scored. And I was like, what? And the sound threw me off, the way the ball ricocheted off the post, or it hit the camera and bounced back. It just didn't look natural. It didn't look like a natural goal. But then I saw Onana looking really sad, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that was a goal.
Yeah. I thought, you know, Fulham, I think, looked pretty good the whole time. Just I think their like final third decisions were lacking,
like always.
Yeah. And then, you know, they go up the goal with Bassey, and you know, great goal to not really flub his first attempt, but didn't get a great hit on it, and then you know, really strikes through it. And then I thought, of course, you know, Maguire scores. This United team has gotten so lucky with like picking up points in games they should not. And I was getting disappointed, but then I mean, Fulham just hits him with that counter. Well, Traore really hits him on that counter and just cuts through the team.
Dude, what was Maguire thinking?
I don't know. I mean, he probably just saw Traore and he was like, I'm too tired for this, you know.
Well, he tried to like take him one-on-one at the half line. It's like, dude should have been tracking back as soon as that ball was touched to him. He says, I'm going all the way back to my goal. Instead, he tried to take him on, and then watching him try to catch up to him was, you know.
Yeah, not great. But yeah, great placement from Iwobi. You know, Onana was like already guessing the far post. And,
he totally shifted.
Yeah,
all of his weight.
We love to see it. Just not next week. Next week, United, turn it up.
Bro, just get a point. Just get a point.
Something, yeah.
1 point.
Anything will help.
That's on the 3rd. What day is that? That's the Sunday. What time is that game at? Oh man, I might have made plans, but
7:30 a.m. for me.
Oh, we're golden.
So yeah, you should be good.
Must watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruno. I don't know if you saw. He got tackled mid-game, and he was rolling around. I looked at Chris. I was like, Bruno doesn't look good right now. I was like, you might have to sub him out if this is real. And then he got back up. Like what? 10 seconds later, I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
I hate that guy so much.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't been as effective with all his little complaining and play acting and stuff this season. So I think maybe refs have kind of caught on to, that part of his game. But he does need to find a way to contribute more in the attack and everything. Like, I didn't look, but I don't think he's scored much, if at all.
It's been a while.
United this season.
I think he has 3 goals this season.
Yeah, that's not a great return for him.
3 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah. I don't know if I can just look up last year real quick to see. Last year, Premier League, 8 goals, 8 assists. So I guess he's sort of on track, but I feel like he was like such a bigger presence on the field.
Yeah.
Last year. And I mean, you go back another year, he had 10 goals, 6 assists, and the year before, he has 18 goals, 12 assists. So, like, he used to kind of be that hub of creativity and goals to some extent. And either Ten Hag tactics are just not really suiting him, or, United itself has just been kind of shitty. So,
I think the Hoyland missing piece in this game was important because he's been so on top of it. But I think the more they can build that connection, Fernandes and Hoyland, I think it could be obviously better for both of them, right? But I don't think that's happened yet. Hoyland's goals have been kind of self-made. He's just finding nice little pockets and just blasting the ball through, or making really good runs, and it's getting passed from his center backs, or it's not build up play around the box, right, and finding an open guy at the last second like the Martinelli Havertz. I haven't really seen anything like that from Hoyland yet. It's just been a lot of get the ball and just rocket it, which, hey, fair play. That's how you want to score. Do it. But that's not going to get Bruno involved as much, and I wonder if that's making him a little upset, because Bruno, I think, does have an ego, and I do think he likes his stats. But yeah, he's not getting them this year. He's 15th in our fantasy league right now, and I think
he used to be one of the big ones.
I think top 5 last year probably, and we had people in our league saying Bruno's going to run the league again, and now you might drop him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Good to see United lose.
Love it. It's about time. They had a nice run.
Yeah.
Had a nice run.
Yeah, it looked like they were starting to click, and then they just brought back down to earth.
A little bit. Yeah, for sure. All right, what else we got on our list here? Oh, Brighton Everton. Pretty dull game, honestly. Yeah. No Matoma, which is always a bummer. I thought Pickford played really good. They just got freaking lucky at the end there. The Billy Gilmore tackle we talked about was awful. Yeah, I think Brighton's pretty stoked to get out of there with a point, as Everton is, this could have been a big 3 points for them.
Yeah, I mean, Everton they really got to get Calvert-Lewin scoring. Like, he had a few opportunities. He picks up the ball kind of right in front of goal and sends it wide, or just like completely misses the ball. And whether it's him or who else do they have? Do they have Beto, or is he somewhere else? No, he's Palace, right?
Well, McNeil plays up front with him too. Decore is up there, but they rolled out a single striker in this game.
Yeah, I don't know. They just got to start finding the goals. Like,
yeah,
the Branthwaite goal was great. Like, ball comes down to him almost like unexpectedly, and just strikes it with some good power. But really, this was not a 1 point win for Everton. It was like a 5 point win because they got 4 points back.
Has that been official? Is that true? Because I know it was kind of okay.
I mean, it's reflected on the EPL table when you look it up now.
Oh, it happened because I looked when I saw the announcement. I looked and it wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's not on who? Yeah. Is it on Who Scored? I don't think it's on Who Scored yet.
I don't know about Who Scored, but yeah, when they were showing the table earlier today, I mean, at least through NBC, Peacock, and stuff, it was updated. So, good for them to get a little bit more separation from relegation. But I think they still will need to find some level of positive form here to make sure they survive.
Interesting. Yeah. Moving up to 15th is a big deal for them.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have some, like, I don't know, relief. They're just like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, probably a little bit, but I think the like other possible points deduction that has Nottingham Forest involved too. I think that's still up in the air. I don't know if that'll be decided this season or not. So not really in the clear yet, I'd say. But yeah, you'd take a point away at Brighton. I guess it's a pretty good day for Everton.
So. Yeah, that's not bad. And Tarkowski had 5 blocks this game, which puts him at 56 on the season. Which, Chad, he could do it. He could break his own record again. 12 games left. I don't have the exact number that he had last year, but I believe it was in the 70s or 80s that guy had.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He was a blocking machine.
Last year was crazy, but I mean, they're racking up now. And if you look at our fantasy league, no one's in the 40s.
Okay.
No one's even in the deep 30s yet. How does this man do it?
And then there's Tarkowski.
There's Tarkowski with almost 60.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like not that I watch him a lot, but when I do watch Everton games, I don't feel like I see him blocking all the shots.
Right. That's what I'm saying too. It doesn't. Where are they getting these numbers? Yeah. No Matoma though. That's a bummer. That guy needs to find a way to get healthy because that team is quite different when he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Villa and Forest. This game is over quick.
Yeah, over quick. It looked like Forest maybe could have mounted a comeback, but I think it just wasn't really ever on the cards to come back.
Yeah.
But, Ollie Watkins continues his revenge tour.
I tip my cap.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to eat our words again when we talk about West Ham, so...
Hey, man. No, I don't know. Eat our words with West Ham. We said... I mean, West Ham's the way more fun game here. I really want to... Let's knock this out really quick. Origi pass to Gibbs White was tremendous. That was probably the highlight for Forest in this game. But every Forest loss for me is another chance for Matt Turner to get back on the pitch. So
True.
I'm okay with this scoreline. Ollie Watkins, I'm okay with you scoring. He didn't even get that many points this week, so not a huge deal.
Okay.
The Louise goals were nice. I'm glad Bailey... Too easy. Wide open, right at the face of goal. Villa's kind of finding a little bit of momentum now. They go play Luton next, so if they can handle Luton, they're still there. It's crazy. They're only 8 points down from top of the table too, and we don't even care about them.
No,
not even a little bit.
They're in a different league at this point.
For sure.
I mean, yeah, really, they're right there.
And I remember, I think, did Arsenal ever go down 8 points near the end of the season? Probably, and they were it was probably close to that, right? It's there's still a chance. No one's saying that about Villa.
No, yeah. I mean, I think they're definitely finding their form again. I think their defense was just a little bit sloppy in this game to allow those 2 goals from Forest, and you see Emery just yelling at his bench and oh god, I forgot how we say his name. Dean, Luca Dean.
Oh, look at Dean.
I
Yeah.
think he's just on the bench, like wide-eyed, like I'm on the bench. Like I don't know why you.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Poor
So
lad.
I don't know. I think Emery came out after and they asked him about it, and he said like, "Oh, I was just talking tactics with them about like what I wanted to see out there on the field," and it's like, did not look that way.
Yeah, we need some lip readers on that one.
Yeah.
All right, should we jump to West Ham?
Yeah, we might as well.
Paqueta is the glue. Chad, we said it months ago.
We said it, but then I started to doubt it. Like, this one guy cannot be the one to hold this team together, and here it is, makes his return, and all of a sudden, everything is it's West Ham that we knew before, scoring goals, creating.
In this one game, they matched their scoring from, I guess we'll go February 17th all the way to December 28th. They had 4 goals in between there without Paqueta. Now, was Paqueta, I want to say the difference maker in this game? Maybe not, but was his presence enough to allow Jared Bowen to get his first ever hat trick in the Premier League? I'll buy that. I'll for sure buy that. What a difference.
Look, we were, he talked about Bowen too going on this like little cold patch, and Paqueta returns and he's back to proving us wrong.
It was last week. I don't know if we did it on air when we were recording, saying this is the Bowen we expected, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, F you guys. He had 16 braces before this game, which is pretty incredible too.
Yeah.
And now he finally got his hat trick, which were all very nice goals, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and then Emerson's goal too. My favorite thing in the world, maybe top 5 in the world, is when a crowd chants shoot, and you just get to load up and rip it. And so many times we see it fail, but when it hits, it feels good. It feels so good.
Yeah,
So
that was one of those like picture perfect ones with the crowd chanting, and he hits it with good power. So like it didn't look like it shouldn't have gone in, or keeper could have got to it. There was just, once he hit that ball, it's already in the back of the net. Just add the point,
Yep. Kudus looked good on that right side again. I think that's his home. That's where he needs to be. Paqueta back on the left, JWP in the middle, Bowen up top.
Yeah,
I'm back on that hammer train.
Yeah, and I mean I think they handled Brentford really well up until Brentford got their second goal kind of late on. Then it looked like the West Ham defense just kind of lost their structure, lost the focus maybe, because Brentford kind of ended maybe on the front foot, but their shooting just was not good. Couldn't really find the goal.
And Ben Mee's out now too, so no Pinnock, no Mee.
Did he go out injured? I didn't see that.
He tried to play through it. He couldn't.
Boy.
This team's in desperate time right now with that back line, because the other guy they got, Nico Collins, he's pretty rough too.
Yeah.
And if that's your next guy up, it's not looking the prettiest.
Yeah. Not great, certainly. I mean, they were already kind of shaky this year anyway in defense, and now you're missing some heavy hitters back there. So I don't know. Brentford at 16th, 25 points, 5 points clear relegation right now.
It's close. It's getting really close to relegation for them.
Too close for comfort, I'm sure. They almost have to maybe go the just outscore the opponent route. And, once Mbumo gets back, got Tony back, just keep feeding them, let them score as many points, and hope they score more than the other team can.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I guess at this point you're hoping Forrest gets a point deduction too, right? And then there's a big gap, a 5-point gap from anyone at the bottom there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to see the Bees go. I've been a fan.
No. you know,
They've just been really unlucky.
yeah, it's been just a strange season for them. No Tony for half of it, and then just kind of like they were kind of stabilizing for a while, and then just I think losing Mbuma was a big miss, and yeah, I don't know, that defense just isn't as put together as it was last season, and I think they can survive. They just gotta find a fight and a way to do it.
Godspeed. Palace and Burnley, Chad. New era for Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
First clean sheet in God knows how long for them. It was against a Burnley team that was down and struggling, so I'm not too shocked that they got this victory. Just kind of surprised we saw 3, and they were all pretty nice goals too.
Yeah, I think probably good for them to do it without Eze or Elise.
For sure.
Before it was like without one or both of them, that just nothing was happening. So yeah, new manager bounce. Little extra motivation to. I mean, look, they're in 13th right now. They got to get up to 12th to stay with their lovely preferred spot.
Unless they want to break their own record.
Yeah. I mean, probably the easiest intro they could have in this new era against Burnley, and especially one that is now down to 10 men for most of the game. I don't really have much more to say about Palace. They're there.
So I find their coach to be kind of interesting. He came from Frankfurt, and it seemed like he was pretty successful over there. So I don't know why he didn't get a job at the start of this year. I was kind of just doing a little Google search on him. So I wonder if he was always waiting in the wings at Palace, and they told him like, "Hey man, this is Roy's last year," and then Roy just happened to go down. They're like, "Get in here, kid." Yeah. I'm curious to see how he does with them. I mean, not a bad start so far, right? What do you got? 4 out of 5 points. Yeah. I guess 4 out of 6 points to start his tenureship at Palace. So there are much worse ways to start your season there, and they don't win much. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think kind of
7.
Keep a little bit of an eye on them just to see what they're like. They had Patrick Vieira at coaching last season, and he couldn't really get things together. So then
that's crazy. That was a year ago.
Roy came back, and I wouldn't say that he really got things going either, but I think at least found a way to kind of stabilize them a little bit more.
Yep.
Until this season, but well, new time for him. Let's see.
Got 12 games to show it.
Yeah.
All right, then last, Chad, we got Wolves and Sheffield. I expected Wolves to score a little bit more here.
I'm
kind of surprised.
They played that great, just... Yeah, for me, and I don't watch a lot of Wolves, but I think Neto on the left just wasn't it.
Yeah.
I get, like, you're maybe doing that to get Sarabia in there, but it just... I don't know. It didn't look like Neto could get onto the ball as much as he normally would, and then when he was on the ball, he just didn't seem as threatening on that side.
Yeah, what did they do last time? So they ran that same front three out for Tottenham.
Really?
Yeah. Then they had Brentford week prior. They had Neto up top, Cunha on the left, Sarabia on the right. But I do know what you're recalling here. When Neto plays on the right, it did seem like things were flowing, but I want to see who's playing on the left with him. So they have Cunha play out on the left. So it looks like they just swapped him a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Neto should be versatile enough to do it, but I think maybe he just prefers the right. But I feel like all the times where you see the highlights of him, and when he's getting his assists to Hwang and stuff, it's coming from that right side, right? So
almost always.
It just I think he probably feels better on that side. So yeah, I think Wolves are maybe a little bit lucky to get away with the win here. I think Sheffield had some decent opportunities, but just could not get any of their shots right, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well,
did you see the Sheffield players?
Oh yeah, what was that? I was like, are they going to get a card for this?
That was the crazy thing too. Is like VAR was checking it for violent conduct. I was like, can you imagine you get a red card for something against your own teammate? Like,
I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it happen once somewhere, like in the European football world, where a ref has carded own teammates before. But I was like, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And that type of blow up. I don't know. It definitely felt out of proportion. I wasn't really sure why. Like, I understand frustrations. I understand you're the worst team in the league. I get all that stuff. But in that specific, I was like, this is where we're going to have our fight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how, like, the players and manager really take that. If it's like, is it a bad sign that, like, things are getting really uneasy now? Or is it just, they are trying to expect more from each other? And I think it came a little bit after the goal, maybe, or after a good opportunity from Wolves or something. So maybe they're just trying to hold each other to a higher standard and push each other. But I think you can do that without then having to get a little physical, right?
Got a little head buddy.
Yeah. So it's maybe not a great sign for the Sheffield mentality, but I mean you're already relegated basically anyway. So.
That locker room is probably so broken.
Yeah, I think they're all just waiting until next season, back in the championship, just get through it.
It's crazy. Burnley has the same amount of points as them too, and I feel like those are two, I don't know, drastically different levels of teams. Which maybe Burnley at this point has had a tougher schedule, but I feel like Burnley has been, not a hard matchup, but at least like I see some, I don't know, some urgency out of them at times. With Sheffield, the games that I've caught, it's like easy win for everyone. Come get your points.
I mean, look, they're negative 44 on goal differential. Like they're leading the way in that, which heading towards, I think what the record, I think was 55 or something. I forget what it is now, but I mean, if you're gonna go out big, might as well set a record on the way, and you can at least have your name on that if you really want to. But yeah,
I was looking up worst goal differentials in the EPL. Norwich had it, but I don't think I can open this document, so I might need to send this to you. Norwich achieved what remains the highest finish ever by a Premier League team to end the season. Oh, with a negative goal. That's not what we want. Dang. I don't know. I might have to do a little bit more digging on this one.
Yeah, I think it was like 55 was the record. Because when they were like letting in, I think they did like the back-to-back 5-0 defeats. All the talk started of like, how bad is this team and how bad could it get? And I think 55 was the current record for worst goal differential. So
interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll have to find that out because that's a terrible stat to own, and I want to know who owns it because stats are made to be broken.
Yeah. But like you said, it is surprising that Burnley is level on points. I mean, they've certainly let in less goals, so I guess maybe that it kind of aids how we feel about them of being like a little bit better team. But
slightly,
it just those two I think are nailed on to go down. Luton, maybe we got a little too ahead of ourselves on them.
I don't know. I still believe a little.
Yeah, I want to believe they can get through it. I think especially if Forest do get some point deduction, I think Luton will make it through. I hope so. I don't want to just see all three come up and go back down. I want at least one.
Give me one
to stay up here.
Stick with us.
Yeah,
be a part of it. 2007, 2008. Derby and Norwich, both last place teams in the Premier League that season, negative 69 and negative 61.
Ooh, okay.
So
okay, Sheffield's got a little space in
a
there.
little space. They
could maybe
if they play. When do you guys play them next? 2 weeks. It was next week.
No, next Monday. So
I don't know, man. That could dent it a little.
Yeah, if it's another, we'll
7.
be nice and say 4 goals, and then you're at minus 48.
48 with 11 games left.
11 games, you gotta hang on to 20 goals, basically.
Yeah, you can't lose 2-0 the rest of the way. You got to score at least 1. You can't lose by 2 the rest of the way. That's for every game.
Yeah.
Wow, it's possible. It's possible. All right, Chad, we did it here. We got through all our games. Shall we go through our weekly awards?
Of course.
It's pretty good ones here. I'll start with team. Shout outs for Liverpool. Another comeback victory, 4-1. Not my top pick, but again, trap game for us. Didn't have our whole team. Was a bit worried. Shout outs for Arsenal coming in there and getting the job done too. Impressive victory. Shout outs for West Ham for finally scoring some freaking goals and showing us the team that you could be. All thanks to Paqueta. But the team for me, it's got to be Fulham. They dominated for 99% of that game. They had a rebound goal go in that potentially could have been offside, and they scored a game winner. Can't beat that for me, especially when you're playing a Man U team that was on a pretty good run. They I think they won their last 4, so they broke their streak. And Fulham hadn't won a game in a week or 2.
I'm trying to remember what the commentators were saying, but it was maybe Fulham's first ever away win at Old Trafford.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds right. It
was either that or it's been 20 something years since it did it at one of those. But still, a big win for them. They get my award as well here.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's too easy. You go in here, you make United look like fools, come away with the win. It's got to be.
Anytime a bottom team can beat a big name like that, stick it to them.
Especially when it's United.
For sure. It's the best part. What do you got for player?
Player, well, I'm going to say Bowen is my pick, but, I'll hand out the flowers to a few other, Leon Bailey, I think he's kind of finding his form again. He got a little quiet there, kind of when Villa got quiet. Got 1 goal, 1 assist on the day. McAllister was big in that comeback. 2 assists to do that. So big shout outs there. King Kai Havertz, 1 goal, 1 assist. Probably should have had 2 goals at the start of that second half, but still Havertz. He still has an interesting touch and control sometimes.
Well, I'm going to give it to the keepers this week. Jose Sa finally getting a clean sheet. His stats look nice. And then Johnstone in Crystal Palace. I mean, gosh, when's the last time we saw a Palace clean sheet? Hang on. Let's walk through the list here. Give me 2 seconds. It was... oh, man, Chad. We're doing a deep dive. November 4th against Burnley. So...
Yeesh.
That's how long it's been.
Well played. New era.
I know. I was like, when's the last time Anderson had a clean sheet on here? And it's finally. Yeah, wow. But yeah, Bowen, nice Hattie. Nice goals all around. He makes my goal nomination too. His first one I really liked. Again, all of them were great, but I really liked his first one, Rocket. Shout out to Chris Richards. Palace getting a nice little diving header. Loving our American boys. The Saka goal was sick just because I can't believe it threaded through all these people. Brathwaite with a thump. Impressive. And then the Iwobi goal. I think that's going to be the one out of the Fulham game, just because of the composure he had, and like, I don't know, he's never really been known for his finishing in dire situations. So for him to hit that, that was nice. But my top one is Emerson, just because, again, top 5 favorite things in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, before today's game, I was probably going to say Saka's goal was my pick, but then, Emerson comes out and just bangs it like that. I think, especially when it's, a defender doing that, it always feels a little bit even more special. Yeah, he gets it, but, pretty much had all the same other goals. Nothing like, not a whole lot of diversity and good goals this week.
We're pretty set in our agreement here. It's not always usually the case, but pretty easy to do when we're able to focus in on those games. All right, but meme of the week, Chad.
Oof,
got some good ones in here. I'm scrolling up because last week was a little dry.
Yeah,
but this week, man, we got straight into it. Let's start with the Messi chipping the ball over the injured defender.
MLS is back.
Dude. This feels fake. How bad do you want him to score?
If he would have scored, don't even run the MLS goal of the season competition. That is it. It is in. It is done.
I wanted it bad. I really did.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the disrespect to do that. But I think if that was any other player doing it to you, the guy on the ground maybe got upset. But when you see it's Messi, you're like, all right, fair play.
And he did it so cleanly. It was the perfect boop over him. And I wonder. I mean, of course, Messi knew what he was doing, but I wonder, because Messi's just in that part of his career now, right? He's probably not giving any shit about what anyone thinks or what he's doing. I wonder if he saw that person on the ground and said, yeah, I'm gonna dribble over them, or it just happened to be like that, it was just in the moment and he needed to do this thing. But I feel like he saw it and he's like, yeah, watch this, and did it.
I think it was maybe a little bit of he wanted to cut that way, because then if he's gonna shoot, it's on his left foot. But then I think he then sees the opportunity to do that and he's like, I could dribble a little bit further.
This would be super cool and add it to my career highlights. Yeah, that was cool.
We got a Harry Kane's apparent statue somewhere in storage.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Apparently, it's molded out of him on the bench though, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I feel like if you are getting a statue for a striker, it should be in some sort of striking or at least a celebration, stance.
Yeah, he always does an under fist pump thing, I think, too.
Yeah,
So
so don't think that'll ever find a home. I wouldn't think. It's maybe it will. I don't know. It's a weird statue to have.
It's a weird one. The Lego Man was pretty awesome.
So did you see the whole context behind this one?
No. Explain.
Because initially I just saw the Lego Man and I was like, that's pretty cool. So Legia Warsaw, UEFA banned their supporter section for some number of games for, I don't know, whatever reason. And they had put up a banner the first game that they couldn't sit there and just said you win this time, UEFA or something. And then this game, which I don't know if it was the same game or the next game after, they clearly brought the banner into the main casual, fan section, and that's why they got the surprise. So they're, passing the banter around even between fans and government body, right?
It's crazy, dude. The passion. The passion. The tackle on Kaká, Chad.
Oh, who is this I show speed guy?
You don't know about this guy?
No, I don't know.
Dude, he's ridiculous. He's was a YouTuber, but he's just one of the obnoxious ones. Huge Ronaldo fan. He's met Ronaldo. It's very cringy, but so he gets invited to all these like charity events. He actually he was at the World Cup and he was making fun of, again, very cringe, not someone I would ever want to be associated with. And to see this happen on Kaká, I wanted to die, because can you imagine Kaká being like, this dude could have broke my leg, and like, I don't even know who are you? Like, why did you do this? Makes no sense.
It's pointless tackle to make in, what, this is like a charity match or whatever anyway. Like, it's without knowing too much about him, he sounds like just a reactionary kind of YouTuber, I guess. So like, that's probably in his mind of like, let me make this crazy tackle.
It was like, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. That's like the vibe that he gives off. Yikes.
Not good.
Yikes. Kaká looked at him like he was like, what? Like, what just happened? Shocking. So,
Granite?
Yep.
Pulls out the faked injury celebration.
Did you think it was fake at first?
He let it go on for quite a while.
He did.
So
I understand the concern.
Yeah, it looked. I don't know if I bought it right away, because it almost seemed like a little bit too sudden of like a switch from running to like, ooh, grabbing my leg. But then he kept going, and I was like, well, I don't know, maybe he was already feeling something, and that last little sprint to celebrate like did it, and then no, he cranks that baby back up, and he's going, and Jobby's on the sidelines like, oh, thank God.
It was good to see him kind of laugh at it too. I was like, okay, that's the type of locker room they have, because I imagine Ancelotti or someone else would have not been happy about that.
Yeah,
probably would have subbed him out right away. But that was pretty good. It was pretty good. The Emery one we just spoke about, flipping out. And then the last one on here, we had the unlucky fan to Enzo, but the one that you posted, the Real Madrid asking for the reschedule on Taylor Swift. Who wins that battle? Biggest team in the world or biggest artist in the world?
I think Taylor probably wins it.
Yeah.
Only because Madrid benefits from her having another sold out show, right? Like, she has one sold out show, and I think she wants to add one the night before, which I think conflicts too closely to Real Madrid's last home game. I think that's the issue. So if I'm Madrid, I'm like, I don't know what cut they take of the tickets, but a sold out, whatever, 60, 80,000 seat stadium, whatever they got, is still a nice chunk of change. So
sure,
if you can have that happen twice instead of just once, I think you're gonna concede everything you can, and get La Liga to move their game up or whatever they're trying to really do with it. But
yeah, I wonder how that's gonna work. It looks like the game starts at 6 p.m. But all games on the last day start at the same time, right? Because you need to have that formality of
unless they just, I don't know, maybe I don't know if it would even work to like hire more workers or whatever to quickly set up the stage after that game.
Yeah,
and do like a quicker turnaround. But
no, Real Madrid might be champions.
It's true. So okay, so let's say they are champions, still do the quick turnaround. Taylor just brings out the whole team to celebrate, skip the trophy lifts, right after the game, just do it at the concert.
Yeah, when she puts the hat on someone, just make it like Vinicius up there, and like, that's your trophy. It's the trophy and a hat. That would be awesome.
Boom. There you go. We solved it.
Luka Modric is like, oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Could happen.
That'd be wild. I wonder if they could make that happen. They got to find a way. They got to find a way to do it. Tandem with Taylor Swift, you can't go wrong.
Heck yeah.
Win La Liga, win Taylor Swift. All right, Chad. I think we nailed it here.
Certainly.
Fun games this upcoming weekend. Manchester Derby. Can't wait for it. I think that's pretty much the main one we all want to watch. Everything else I think should get the job done. I will be eyeing West Ham to just see if it's a fluke or not against Everton, because now Everton needs to get their stuff in order too. We got to see Tottenham coming back, so
I think
some good ones.
Beyond that, I'll be kind of keeping an eye on that Luton Villa game. Just again, kind of see if Villa's really back in form, or if that Luton away, small stadium, crowded vibe just takes over, and Luton can kind of get back on their game.
Yep.
Hopefully, but
we'll
see.
Time will tell. All right, Chad. With that, it's bedtime. So, Hooligan's Pitch, episode 63, is in the books. Good night. Peace.